It is always good to be with so many friends. This is one of those environments that I may date myself, but those of you that remember the old movie Airplane, there's the scene, the doctor. This is one of those, if you don't know somebody, it's judge. Good morning. Judge Mosley, thank you. I'm grateful for the invitation, and I promise not to filibuster. I won't spend but a few moments of your time. I just want to pause, and I'm going to start with where I will end here in just a few minutes and say thank you. Thank you for the support in this room that allowed me to get back in the fight in law enforcement. Thank you for the support, so many of you that lent your name to me, or that when you went in that voting machine for the first time. I'm new at this as a candidate. You ask somebody for their support, you ask somebody for their name to associate it with you, that means something. Or it should. You ask somebody for resources to hold an event for you, or you ask somebody ultimately to vote for you. I just want you to know it's not a throwaway line, that I was raised well enough to just want to pause and say thank you for standing here as the 52nd Attorney General of this Commonwealth. Zealous collaboration. It's a line that some of you've heard from me before, and you'll certainly hear it again. My hope is that's what you see in the Attorney General's office. That is the culture we are building. I say building because I view our office, I view leadership as a moving target. I know you all, so many of you all do as well in your counties. Moving target. We don't ever get there as leaders. We're always trying to be better. We're always trying to improve service to those citizens that we have all taken the same oath to serve. And so zealous collaboration is the culture of the Office of the Attorney General. I hope that's much more than just happy talk words from a podium like this. Let me talk with you for just a second about what that looks like, what that has looked like and will look like the last 11 months Attorney General, and what it will look like going forward. I mean, you demonstrate that. KACo, it's designed to tear down silos. And many of you are sitting with most folks from your county, but I see Oldham sitting with Warren here. It's weird. KACo's about tearing down silos, Mr. Bartley. It's what you do, and it's what we're trying to do in law enforcement. I don't have my badge on me now, but so oftentimes in law enforcement, our biggest limiting factor to how we serve the citizens, it's not resources, although judges, courts, we could always use more resources. It's not personnel, although we know we have challenges with recruitment and retention. It's what it says on our badge. Because historically in law enforcement, we don't collaborate as well as we should. We're siloed. And so the role of this office is to help tear down some of those silos, to be that convening authority, to do what KACo is doing, bringing folks together to work through some of these challenges. And look, it's very easy to focus on the darkness. Now, from AI and to the what's killing so many, leaving so many empty seats at kitchen tables, to the violence we're seeing coming out of our urban areas into many of your counties. It's real easy to focus on the darkness. It's real easy to focus on what you're seeing in your jails and how hard it is to keep them funded. But I'm optimistic. It's the president calling for somebody. Congratulations on the new job. I'm optimistic because of the caliber of the men and women in this room. I'm optimistic because of those who are willing to serve in our office. I'm optimistic because those new deputies, those young men and women who are raising their hand to go into the fight. How we can help them, and most of our conversations have involved, frankly, the opioid settlement money over the last 11 months or so. I'm proud of how the legislature is structured. Of course, 50% of those dollars come directly to you through the formula. 50% of those dollars come to the commission. And then we look for a way to zealously collaborate and get good value over those dollars. And it's significant resources. Over the last, the commission has awarded $12 million to 50 organizations of late. That's the last distribution. And Deputy Director Halliday is here with questions that you may have, not only about the grant portal, and maybe the biggest value add I can provide y'all is to let you know that the grant portal for this next tranche of grants will be opening next week. And so same process. I know there have been many questions about what that looks like. Hopefully we've been able to address many of those. Jesse Halliday is here, Chris Evans isn't. But if you haven't met with the team, our door is open. It's one thing to talk about zealous collaboration up here today. It's another thing to answer texts and calls. Reach out to us. I hope we have demonstrated that we return phone calls, we get back to you, we sit down for a meeting, we show up outside of the Golden Triangle. That's important to us. And so we are leading. Look, we're doing such a better job on the treatment front. We're going to continue to do, Kentucky used to be, if you had someone that needed treatment, get in line. 4 or 5 years ago, Godspeed, getting a treatment bed for them. Kentucky now has more treatment beds per capita than any state in the United States. It's a pretty positive statistic. It's a pretty terrible statistic, quite frankly. It's pretty terrible to stand at an opioid summit a week or so ago, filled with 400 folks. We had a waiting list of people to get in the room. Lots of energy. 400 people sitting around talking about opioid death and destruction. It was probably the best, worst conference I've ever been to, because that's bringing people together, help tearing down silos, but it's devastation that's helped tear down those silos. So come to us. We also, in those formula dollars, there have been a lot of questions as to how to spend those. There have been questions about how you collaborate, how you consolidate some of that money at scale to get more impact. Certainly reach out to us. There have been some really creative ideas. I know some of you all have held those dollars back. You've been hesitant to spend those for compliance purposes. Let us help you. Those dollars need to get after it. They need to go to work. I promise you standing here that I'll have some announcements in the near term that I'm bringing you more money. We're going to continue swinging. We're going to continue going after those that created this market for devastation. So you're going to have resources. And so stay tuned. You all, counties have done such a great job in bringing this litigation. I have a duty to try to maximize on that. And so I look forward between now and Christmas being able to give you some announcements and let you know how we're being a good steward in taking that litigation forward. So stay tuned. Looking forward to an announcement in the relatively near term. Another way we can be of assistance to body armor. I stood at a podium like this as a candidate, as a guy seeking the office before the sheriffs last year. An old boy in the back of the room who's now retired, a chief deputy, stood up and he said, "Sir, I just want you to know the body armor I'm wearing is expired. And there's no one in my office that wears body armor that's active. We don't have the money for it." And so I didn't fully appreciate that 1 in 5 of our deputies, 1 in 5 of our troopers, 1 in 5 of our officers either don't have body armor at all, no soft armor at all, or what they have is expired. And just like the milk in your refrigerator, after about 5 years, that Kevlar, that armor starts breaking down. It's not as effective at stopping around. And I will tell you, I had the privilege of a few weeks ago seeing what the new technology will do, and talk about positive, talk about pushing back on some darkness. These plates, these rifle plates, they're fairly thin. Now, as an officer, they get heavy over time. I recognize that. But I shot that with a .308 round, a .223 round, and an AK, a 7.62 round, at almost point-blank range. The same plate. And that officer would have survived. That plate survived. I lit it up with pistol rounds, and that officer would have survived. This technology that we have now is going to help officers, help your deputies get home at night. And so reach out to us. We have the resources. The legislature gave us $15 million to do it right. The buck stops here. The legislature gave me that money. Most of the time I don't say I don't say we. I avoid that. It's us. It's your office. It's not my office. But it is I here, because I'm ultimately responsible to take that 20%. 20% of our law enforcement don't have adequate armor. We've got to shrink that. And so we've already measured 700 officers for body armor. I mean, we are getting after it. That program is active. If anyone knows Jeremy Merrill, he's the deputy commissioner for counter-exploitation. He's leading our efforts on the child exploitation front. He's a career trooper, somebody with a fire in their belly. He's also in charge of this body armor program. So we had a question from a sheriff yesterday we were able to address after speaking with KLEC. So if you have questions about this program, get the response to you quickly. We have the resources. Have your sheriffs reach out. That's money that we're not going to have to take from the fiscal court. That's a few $1,000s here and there we can save you. And so come to us. Help us be of assistance. I'll end with where I will start. And local government at times isn't as sexy. Local government at times doesn't get the attention, doesn't get the appreciation. You do the hard work. You are where the rubber meets the road. And as I stand here, I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to those that serve me in Oldham County. I want to say thank you for your work, for your service. I'm a dad before I'm Attorney General with 3 kids that worry about their future as well. And with all the darkness we're facing, with the fact that we exist in an environment where this phone is probably the most dangerous thing in a lot of our homes. That's allowing predators to get access to our kids, or it's allowing predators to get access to our parents or our grandparents and clean out 401ks. Both of those happening right now in this Commonwealth. We exist in an environment where as little as one pill that my son thinks is Ritalin, my son, it'll help you with your test, or after a practice, hey, this came out of my medicine cabinet, this'll help you out. As little as one pill is killing our sons and our daughters. As little as one pill that's really fentanyl. It's all of this coming from over a porous southwest border with Mexico. So whether you're an R or a D, what goes on at the border does affect us in your county. It does affect us whether you're in Harlan or you're down in the river counties. And so you are where the rubber meets the road. And so as your Attorney General, I just want to say thank you. As a dad, I want to say thank you for serving my family, and thank you for what KACo does, because we have to tear down those silos. We have to operate at scale. These challenges, this darkness is just far too large not to. And so I just want to say thank you, and thank you for your kind words down in Marshall County. You stood up and talked about service over partisanship. You stood up and talked about eliminating R&D and focusing on serving the folks in your county. And so you and I haven't had a chance to sort of talk about that from the dinner, but I thought that was fantastic. And so thank you for those words. Again, I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I appreciate the opportunity to be your Attorney General. Thank y'all.